Next time you're found with your chin on the ground, there's a lot to be learned, so look around. Just what makes that little old ant think he can move a rubber tree plant? Anyone knows an ant can't move a rubber tree plant, but he's got high hopes. He's got high hopes. He's got high apple pie in the sky hopes. That's the only song I could think of about ants. So, in today's episode of Gardening at FBP 2019, episode 7, we are going to kill us some ants organically. Now, before I made this video, we tried out my recipe. It's modified off of somebody else. I think his name is Old Grandpa Gardener in Alabama, something like that. I ran across him a couple years ago and wrote down his recipe. So, I've modified it though so that I can be really sure that it's not going to harm the plants. Even though it won't harm the plants, you still need to spray it and do the dew in the evenings because of the oils and the soap that are in the mix. And I would probably also suggest, after they're all dead, that you give your plant a good rinse of water just to kind of be real sure. We are going to be spraying some ant mounds today that are not near any plants that we are growing. So it's sunny, off and on, it won't matter. So here is the mix. I'm mixing up a half a gallon. So if you just want to mix up a quart, 32 ounces, then just cut everything in half. So we got the gallon of water. This product is orange oil. Now I like the Medina brand. There are others out there. Just make sure it's what I think they call limonene oil. But this is wonderful. It smells so good. And by the way, a capful in your laundry really makes your clothes smell nice. So orange oil is the first ingredient. The next ingredient is neem oil, which I use anyway in my vegetable garden. And the third is Dr. Bronner's Sal Sud soap. This is an insecticidal soap that is very safe for your plants. It's the only soap I use. No Dawn. This is it. This is the only one I use. A little goes a long way. So that's the other ingredient other than water. Now, just so I don't have to test my memory, I have in this little cheap plastic thing, I have written down my directions for my ant bomb. And I'm going to be mixing in this, and I think that's going to be too much water. I think it'll fill up too much. So, for a half a gallon, the first thing we're going to do is add, let me move this out of the way, a half a cup of the orange oil. I love that smell. Didn't spill too much. Then of the neem, for a half a gallon, we're going to add 2 tablespoons. Woo! I put this under some really kind of hot water because it was kind of solidified. If you don't keep your neem somewhere about 75 degrees or higher, it will get thick. And then of the soap, for a half a gallon, I'm going to do 1.5 tablespoons. So if you were doing just like a quart, do like between two 2 and 3 teaspoons, and that should do it. Now I'm putting it in this container that has some warm water in it, because I just find it easier to mix things up like that. Especially the neem oil is pretty thick, and with the soap in there, see, it's all separating. But once you get it, ooh, not a tight lid. Once you shake it up like a milkshake, it gets all mixed in. Now I already have a half gallon of water in this sprayer, so I'm going to add this in, go in there and let Randy know, oh my gosh, that we are ready to spray. Alright, we just had a hard rain, and after a rain it seems like the ants just pop up out of nowhere. So here is our first little mound that we're going to address. The first thing you want to do is disturb the mound. So Randy's got a rake. Now you're going to spray. You're going to spray a lot. Alright, we're going to let this sit, and we'll come back and check on it while we go do another mound. It's been about, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes, I think.
Yep.
While we were doing another ant pile.
Dead end. Dead end. Dead end. Dead end. Dead end.
There's still a few.
I think she's seeing things.
No, I see them moving, but they're stumbling. But there are very few. This will kill them, and it's supposed to kill fire ants, regular kind of ants. I mean, there's hundreds of kinds of ants. All I can say is try it on your ants. See if it works.
Come on, woman. Let's go get another.
Okay. Be back after we go hit another mound, and we'll see if anything else is still moving. Well, we did a third mound, and I'm coming back up here. I do not see any ant movement at all. It's probably been 15-20 minutes. And they're dead. As I mentioned before, if you have ants in your vegetable garden, I personally wouldn't hesitate to use this product. You just have to be really careful about disturbing the mound, because you don't want to disturb your plant's roots either. If you have ants in your vegetable garden, it's also good to recognize that more than likely you might have aphids, so that's something that you need to address as well. I've done 2 or 3 different pest videos, so I'm not going to spend the time talking about that right now. But I do want to say there is another alternative to removing ants from your vegetable garden that is organic. It's considered safe, and that is diatomaceous earth. You just need to make sure that you buy a food grade quality of DE. Another couple of points. It isn't harmful to humans and pets unless it is inhaled, and then it can damage your nasal passages and your lungs. DE is a silica, so little bitty tiny particles or shards, so you don't want that in your body or in your pet's body. So you need to make sure you wear a mask if you're applying that. The other thing about DE, it needs to be applied when the soil is dry, because the way it works is the crawling insects crawl over the DE, and the little silica in it cuts their exoskeletons, cuts their bodies, and it dehydrates them and they die. Now, all crawling insects can be killed by DE. So that includes good things like ladybugs or even bees if you put it on the leaves or they happen to land at the base or crawl across it, walk across it. It can harm bees too. So that's another reason why I just really don't like to use DE. We also get a lot of rain here, and if it rains, it pretty much renders DE useless, ineffective, because it will soak down into the soil, and therefore it's not residing on the surface of the soil where the crawling insects crawl. So those are just some things to keep in mind. If you do decide to use DE, I would recommend that you cover your plants with something, either some row cover material like argabon or maybe even burlap, something to protect the good insects, not pests, the good insects from being harmed from the DE. And then you can just remove it the next day and rinse the DE off of the plant and off of the mulch that you might have around your plant.
Well, folks, another great adventure at Farmer Brown's Paradise. The ant stuff, it's the bomb. I've tried many things. Everything that you could buy at Home Depot, Lowe's, all these places. They're great stores. But as far as ant killer goes, this is the best thing that we've ever come across. It really, really works, and I highly recommend it.
So anytime you're getting low, instead of letting go, just remember that ant. Oops, there goes another rubber tree. Oops, there goes another rubber tree. Oops, there goes another rubber tree plant.